Thank you for listening to the New Pitts Mortuary's Morning Gospel Hour. The New Pitts Mortuary is dedicated to serve and remember us in your time of need. We can be reached at 414-447-6000. We are more than a business. We are a ministry.
You're listening to WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee. The views and opinions expressed on this show do not reflect that of the staff and management of WNOV and W293CX 106.5 FM Courier Communications Milwaukee, but are the sole comments of the host and guest of this particular show.
It's like a diamond ring, it's a precious thing, and we never want to lose it. It's like a favorite song that we love to sing. Every time we hear the music, and we're in this love together. We got the kind that lasts forever. We're in this love together. And like berries on the vine, it gets sweeter all the time.
Good morning. This is Karen Dodson from the All of Us Research Program at the Medical College of Wisconsin. We have an urban vibes today, and you're going to join us at the table. So we're just asking that for the next couple hours, you would just take time. I always tell people to get your tea, your coffee, your water, because we're going to have some serious conversation. I have people around the table today that I'm excited about what they're going to be able to offer to the community as far as information. And so we're going to just start diving right in on it. And I wanted to introduce to you some people that are sitting around the table today. I have Taquanda.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Taquanda Gilbert Crampton. I'm the Community Engagement Manager with the All of Us Research Program at the Medical College of Wisconsin.
Thank you, Taquanda. And then also I have Dr. Kevin Isard.
Good morning. I'm happy to be here. I am a physician in Milwaukee. I'm the president of the Cream City Medical Society, and I've been asked to be part of the investigation team for the All of Us program. So I'm now a community primary investigator. So I'm happy to be on board.
And I love it because he keeps us straight, you know what I'm saying, with the community. And also he allows for us to really get a better and clearer understanding of what the community is looking at, you know, with his colleagues, especially at Cream City. So we appreciate that, Dr. Isard. And we have Deb Nevels with us.
Good morning. Good morning. Deb Nevels. I am Program Manager for Community Outreach and Engagement for the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Center. Also pleased to be here and help out.
You know, it's always a pleasure. Last week we had some serious conversations as it related to cancer and as it relates to our colon. And so we had quite a few people calling back. And so we brought Deb back again to talk about some issues related to cancer. But we're also going to have some other conversations today. And it's going to be related to a couple of things. And one thing, and, you know, Dr. Isard is going to talk about that. And then the first half, and then the second half, we're going to have people that really talk about what exactly they're doing for screening for some of these situations that we'll be bringing up today. So I would like for us to have Taquanda just kind of talk a little bit about the All of Us Research Program and how research is so important as far as we move forward with healthcare.
Yes, of course. The All of Us Research Program is a part of the Precision Medicine Initiative. So what precision medicine mean is customization of your healthcare. So for example, if you wear eyeglasses, when you go to your eye exam, they measure your eye, they do different tests and do different screenings, and they take your lenses and make sure that prescription works just for you. So opposed to going to your provider where you get medication for a certain illness, they have you test it out. It's not really customized to you. It's kind of more of a trial and error situation. So we want to try to eliminate that by our community participating in the All of Us research program. So that way you'll get a treatment that's based on you as an individual with components such as your environment, your lifestyle, and your genetics. So we want to make sure that our community are aware of this opportunity so you can learn more about your health.
And then we're going to have actually some of our team in the community. And so, Taquanda, if you could really speak to that a little bit, and then we're going to dive into some of the other things. But I like for people to know about the All of Us research program and the importance of why you want to be involved in research. And also, you're going to have opportunity in parts of the community to see our team, to ask questions if you would like, and also to join the program. So if you could just give us a brief update on some of the things we'll be doing in the next few weeks.
Yes, for example, this upcoming Saturday, we do have a few community pop-ups. The pop-up is an opportunity for those that are interested to enroll into the program. That's for you to create that online account and do the second portion of the program, which is a clinical visit where you donate your biospecimen samples and receive that $25 gift card to Walmart or Target. So this Saturday, April 6th, we'll be hosting a pop-up at our home base location, which is the Curative Care on Fredericton Medical College campus. The address is 1000 North 92nd Street. We'll be there from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. And we also have another pop-up event at Light of the World Church that will be more on our south side of Milwaukee at 1570 West Greenfield Avenue. And we'll be there from 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. And we also have opportunities for you to learn more about our program, such as doing a presentation about our program. So basically going over the benefits and the great things that we do. We'll be hosting that presentation at New Hope Missionary Baptist Church on Saturday, April 20th. The address is 2433 West Roosevelt Drive, and that presentation will be at 11 a.m.
And it's so interesting because not only that, we also have Dr. Isard that's going to be doing a presentation next week, Thursday, and it's called Starter. It's a virtual event, and it's called Taking Charge of Your Health. And so we'll be giving out more information about where and how you can access that link to it's going to be a Zoom presentation. And we're going to have people throughout the state presenting as well. And then you can also have a chance to have questions. So we're going to dive right into what our conversation is going to be today. And as we started looking at a lot of different topics and questions that people have, we wanted to make sure we definitely have the topic of cancer back with us again. But before we do that, I also want to look at some of the things that have been challenging for our community as it relates to African Americans and our health. And some of those things are like cardiovascular disease and also fatty liver. Fatty liver. So I was just going to ask Dr. Kevin Isard if you could just let the community know what are some of the reasons why we need to be concerned with those areas, and what are some of the things and challenges and illnesses we see behind some of those things.
Yeah, when we're talking about cardiovascular disease, we're talking about a very broad area, and most of us are affected by it because that includes things like high blood pressure, obesity and overweight, diabetes, high cholesterol. They all kind of intersect at this what we call metabolic syndrome. So we know that people who are overweight and who have these conditions are more likely to have heart attacks, and so part of what we're doing when we're doing research is try to figure out why is that. We know that diabetics, the risk of having a heart attack if you're diabetic is the same as someone who's had a heart attack already. So there are things going on in our body that we don't all completely understand. And so I think a lot of it comes down to is this intersection between what's going on in your body and what we're doing in our environment. So a lot of these things we think might be related to the foods we're eating, the lifestyles we're living, whether exercise or not. And so those are things that again, would intersect with our social and our political systems. So if there's no gym around, then, or you can't walk outside because you're not safe, well, then that affects your health too. So all these things are interconnected. We were talking the other day about fatty liver disease, and most people have probably never heard of fatty liver disease. What happens is when you eat, especially if you eat too much or eat a lot of fatty foods, that fat starts to accumulate in your liver, and it actually affects the liver. And in fact, it can affect the liver to the point that first of all, you start just storing fat. So you might feel some discomfort in your abdomen, like it's on the right side. That's where your liver is. So it might be like right side underneath your rib cage. You might feel like, it feels kind of full there. Well, if I bend forward or things like that. Eventually you can store enough fat that the liver cells start to be affected. They start to break down. And so that they call that hepatitis. And then that in turn can cause liver scarring. People know about liver cirrhosis. And it could even cause cancer. So, this fatty liver disease can be, a very serious thing. It's estimated that about anywhere between 20 and 45% of the population have fatty liver, and most people don't know they even have it. And so it may be something that, if you are at risk, meaning that you have one of those other things we talked about earlier, high blood pressure, diabetes, high cholesterol, you're overweight, you might want to discuss with your doctor about about whether you should be screened for fatty liver disease. But it is a chronic condition that can be fixed by changing your lifestyle.
Wow. That's really interesting, Dr. Isard, because when I was reading, and it was really alarming to me, that it is estimated that every other African American, that's 1 in 2, has a fatty liver. And so I was really surprised because it really affects our community a lot more than some of the other communities from what I've been reading.
Yeah, the interesting thing that I found with this is that I looked at meta-analysis. So that's like a study of studies. And, we're always at the top of everything, whether
what is that?
I know, whether it's cancer or heart disease.
I'm trying to figure it out.
Diabetes. Right? But it appears that we are actually less likely to have fatty liver disease. Believe it or not. Yeah. But the popular people need to worry about this are our Hispanic brothers and sisters, because they are more likely, that have fatty liver disease, and then followed by white people, and then African Americans. So we actually are not at the top of that.
Well, that list. That's good to know. And is it because hereditary factors, or is it also related to the way we eat and exercise?
See, again, that's research. We don't know. We know African Americans. We do well. Particularly African American women tend to be more obese, than the general population. And we know that obesity is related to this fatty liver disease. But yeah, there's something else going on. Again, it may be the kind of foods we're eating, whether you have foods that are high in fat, and even then, what kinds of fat are you eating? Are you eating trans fats, which are probably going to be hard to get trans fats now. They've been taken out of most foods. But those are you eating a lot of fatty food. It is, it's, to me, I thought it was interesting, and it is a question about why is it that that we're less likely, even though we are more likely to have those other comorbidities, meaning those other things like the diabetes and the high blood pressure.
And I was just thinking about you mentioned diabetes and high blood pressure is also affecting this disease. Can you give me a little bit more information on why is that? High blood pressure and diabetes.
High blood. Again, it's part of, there's this whole syndrome they call a metabolic syndrome, and I kind of threw that term out there. So what happens is when the more you weigh, your body becomes resistant to insulin. Okay, we all know about insulin. We associate insulin with diabetes. Well, insulin works in your body by taking the blood sugar. After you eat something, that food breaks down and floats around. Glucose floats around in your bloodstream, and the insulin takes it from being in your bloodstream to being in your muscles where you can use it. if you don't have insulin, you can't get that glucose into your muscles, and basically your body has to find other things, and so it starts burning muscle and other things. So people who have type 1 diabetes who don't make insulin, if they don't get insulin, they're going to die. Okay, they have to have some insulin. Most people, however, 90% of people are type 2 diabetics, meaning that they are making insulin. The problem is that their body's resistant to the insulin. And the more you weigh, the more resistant you become. And so if we took insulin levels in people that have type 2 diabetes, what we'll find is we won't find that their insulin level is low. In fact, we'll find that it's probably high because their pancreas is trying to compensate for that resistance by making more insulin. And so at that high insulin state actually affects other organs. And so that's when the metabolic syndrome comes in, because that high insulin now makes the liver start to store fat. It starts making these other things, other hormones start to rise, which result in obesity, which again feeds back into the insulin resistance. And so this high insulin state is a problem for the body. And in fact, when we look at medications like, you've all heard about Ozempic, the way some of these work is that they're counter-regulatory. So they're actually working to lower the insulin level. What do you think, if someone's got diabetes, why do you want to lower the insulin level? It's it's kind of complicated. But just suffice it to say that this high insulin level that people have can cause all kind of problems. The big one being that it increases your risk for cardiovascular disease. So building up cholesterol in your arteries that block your heart and your brain, predispose you to stroke and heart disease.
That's really interesting when you mention about Ozempic, because that has been a buzzword when you listen to the radio, when you watch television right now. Some of the stars are starting to, say that they've been taking this, and then different locations say that they're going to start offering it for people. And I was just wondering about that. Is that really something that's healthy? I'm kind of changing the subject, but I wanted to know, is that healthy for people? I mean, because I think we all want to know. Because I was like, wow, this is something that you can just take this shot or take whatever this is, and then I can start losing weight. I mean, everything is kind of scary when it's easy. So can you explain that to us, Doc?
When a drug gets approved by the FDA to be used in general public, it has to prove that it's safe. Okay, and there's a very low bar for it to be approved. It has to prove that it's better than placebo, so better than sugar pill. That's a very low bar. Most medications that you see, like stuff that's on TV that's advertised, it can't even prove that it's better than placebo. So because if they could, they would actually make a prescription, and it costs a lot more. They'd make a lot more money. But so a lot of those over-the-counter stuff for weight loss don't work. But the ones that do get approved, we're showing probably like a 5 to 10% body loss in lowering your body weight. So let's say you weigh 200 pounds, you're talking about losing 10 pounds, 10 to 20 pounds, which is not bad. It's good, but there was nothing to get people really excited. Then Ozempic came out. So Ozempic was really a diabetes medication. And they noticed that people who were using it, a lot of diabetes medications, like I said, they raise insulin because they're trying to overcome the resistance. And so people start gaining weight. Well, Ozempic is one of these few medications that did not cause weight gain. And in fact, people were losing weight when they took it. So someone had the idea of saying, okay, well, we're trying to get people to lose weight. What if we increase the dose of the Ozempic? And what they found was that it had a very dramatic effect. People were losing, instead of 5 to 10% of their body weight, they were losing 20% of their body weight. Wow. So now you're talking about, if you're 200 pounds, losing 40 pounds. Now that can really make a difference. And so, so the people who manufacture Ozempic said, okay, we're going to go for a whole other indication. So they applied to the FDA to use the medication, semaglutide, as a weight loss medication. And they rebranded it. So instead of it being called Ozempic, it's now called Wegovy. Same medication, just a different name and a higher dose. Then after that, there's another medication. This medication is in the class we call GLP-1, glucagon-like peptide. So it's a hormone that your body normally makes that kind of balances off insulin. So it mimics that kind of protein. So there's another medication, another GLP-1, Mounjaro, that was out there also for diabetes. And they said, oh, well, why don't we see what ours does? So they increased theirs, and they found that they not only got 20% loss in their body weight, they got 25%. So they're even better.
Wow.
And so Mounjaro now rebranded, and now they got approved just in November by the FDA for their medication. And theirs is the weight loss version is Zepbound. But there's another one that's going to be coming out in studies right now that's where it took a year for people to lose their weight and get down to that 20% or 25%. There's another medication now that's coming out that in initial studies, it got them there in about 12 weeks. So
wow.
Yeah. So I think we're on a cusp of a revolution now in weight loss stuff, and a lot of it's focused now on proteins. So precision medicine. That's kind of that's the results of doing these studies and finding out what you can do, and I'm sure that the time is coming where when you go to a doctor, if you're overweight, we know that some things work for some people. Some people do well with low carb diets. Some people do well with intermittent fasting. We're gonna be able to figure out what it is that what's going to work better for you.
Personalized healthcare,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what the All of Us research program is really all about. I was looking at, and when we were talking about diabetes, and for the All of Us research program, we have almost 55,000 participants say they have a family member diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in surveys. And, I always, when I was looking at that kind of reminds me what you mentioned, Dr. Isard, as far as type 2 diabetes, when people lose weight. I've always heard people say, I need to lose weight and then I don't have to take this medication.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like what you were insinuating there, as far as like when people, like your liver has a hard time trying to digest things. And so that insulin really is a challenge for people. But also it was interesting because there's over 430 research projects that are using the All of Us researcher workbench to study diabetes. So there's a lot of information that's going on right now with the All of Us research program that when you participate, you can also be within that study. And so, this is really interesting. I thank you, Dr. Isard, for talking about the drugs related to weight loss, because a lot of us have been hearing about it. I know I recently went to see my physician and I was thinking about asking him, but I know he would have told me,
Well, it's funny you mentioned that.
Because I was like, and I was like, he already told me you need to exercise more. So, okay, you're out of weight, you're out of shape. Okay.
Right.
So go ahead.
It's just funny you mentioned that because, after hearing all that, you said, oh, well, man, why aren't we all using this? And you could probably guess the problem. It's expensive. Yes. It's $1,200 to $1,300 a month. Wow. If you pay for it, and a lot of most insurances won't cover it, and so and there's a disparity. African American people are having a harder time getting that medication than other people.
I thank you for that. This is Karen Dotson from the All of Us research program, and you are here to sit around the table today at 860 WNOV and 106.5 FM. We're going to ask that you, if you have a question, you can call in. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be back. And so please give us a call at 414-444-5250. And I'm going to say that again because people were telling me I was saying it too fast last time. And so now you can grab your pen and paper. And if you have a question for Dr. Isard, he's going to be with us on the first top of the hour, but then he'll be leaving us. So please call in at 414-444-5250. See you back on the other side.
Don't you know that we're in this love together? And like berries on the vine, get sweeter all the time.
Calling all high school students. Do you act, sing, or play an instrument? Are you a scientist, filmmaker, playwright, or visual artist? If so, the NAACP Afro-Academic Cultural, Technological, Scientific Olympics program is for you. Sign up to compete in the local AXO competition on Sunday, April 21st. Gold medalists will automatically win an opportunity to compete at the National NAACP AXO competition in Las Vegas, Nevada this summer. With 32 AXO categories to choose from, there's definitely room to shine. For more information about the NAACP AXO program, visit NAACPMKE.org or call 414-562-1000.
When it comes to advertising, we at Mary H. Bryant Radio TV Print LLC can build a strong relationship with your customers. Mary H. Bryant's traditional strength is in delivering your announcement frequently. We go where your prospects go. We don't care. At work, in the car, at home with television, through radio, television, print, and billboards, we reach your prime prospects numerous times. Let's face it, getting your announcement through to the prospects these days is a challenge. We can focus your advertising on your best prospects by age, sex, income, and psychographics. And this can really help you move your products and services quickly in order to address the retail strategy. Let Mary H. Bryant Radio TV Print reach your prospects before they even enter the buying arena. We will make your announcement take center stage and you'll beat the competition. So increase your quarterly profits today by calling 414-463-6977. 414-463-6977.
For an Allstate agent, providing protection options that fit your life is something that they take well. Personally, Allstate agents are committed to learning about your needs and helping customize protection to meet them. From bundling your home and auto insurance with ease to evaluating optional coverage, your Allstate agent can help build an insurance proposal that fits your life. And just as important as learning what you need is learning what you don't, because helping you get the coverage you want with the savings you deserve is what Allstate is all about. It's time to get coverage that's catered to you. Are you in good hands? Call Milwaukee Allstate agent Cindy Johnson at 414-445-2558. That's 414-445-2558 today for a free quote. Home, auto, renters, condo, and more. Sydney, Nancy, and Lyndon can't wait to meet you.
Subject to terms and conditions and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and Allstate Property and Casualty Insurance Company and its affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Are you ready to take your self-care routine to new heights? Introducing Bird Songs, your one-stop destination for all natural body essentials. Now open at our brand new location, 7123 West Greenfield Avenue. That's 7123 West Greenfield Avenue. Come check out an extensive collection of body oils, shea butter, soaps, hydrating lotions, refreshing shower gels, and enchanting incense. For more information, please visit birdsongsonline.com.
Support also comes from the Milwaukee Art Museum, now presenting Idris Khan, Repeat After Me. Spanning his entire creative journey, the exhibition is the U.S. Museum debut for the British artist. Through photography, sculpture, and painting, visitors will witness Khan's exploration of repetition to mark time. More info is at mam.org.
WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee.
Good morning. This is Karen Dotson from the All of Us Research Program at the Medical College of Wisconsin, and you're joining us at the table this morning. And we do have a caller, so we would like to bring this caller on. Hello, caller, are you there?
Yes, I am. Good morning to you and the doctor and the rest of your guests.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The question I have, my husband is diabetic. My biggest concern is he is type 2, but he is on metformin. He's also on insulin and Ozempic. And I was told that is to keep his organs just protect his organs or lose weight or whatever. How can he be on type 2 with all that is insulin to me? Now, the doctor, the great doctor you have there, I try to make healthy meals and things like that and get on them about snacks. I say you can have an orange and you can have this. But you cannot keep eating what you want and then say, oh, if I take a shot, I'll be okay. This is his attitude. He takes his shots and all that. But that's a lot of insulin, and I am worried. Can you help me with that?
Oh boy, yes, all the time. Women are a lot better about accessing healthcare and getting their stuff done than men are. A lot of guys, unless we're having a heart attack or unless we need Viagra, we're not seeing the doctor. And so so it's not uncommon for someone who's got type 2 diabetes to be on a combination of medications, including insulin on top of other medications. And so my guess is that he probably has what's called a basal insulin, where he takes it once a day. Yeah. So what basal insulin does is just kind of it's a long-lasting insulin. You take it, an injection, and it lasts 24 hours, and it kind of lowers everything as opposed to.
I'm sorry, doctor. He takes it twice a day.
Twice a day? Okay. Yeah. So he may take it twice a day. So, but the idea is that it's going to lower everything as opposed to some of these rapid acting insulins you take just when you eat. If you can convince him, and good luck with this, if you can convince him to lower his carb intake. Lately, let me give you a little bit of the disclosure about my own health. So I found out back in October that I had type 2 diabetes. And I know enough about diabetes. I said, "Oh man, I don't want to be diabetic. I know all the consequences and the stuff you got to change." And I said, "I don't want this." So I said, I'm making my mind. I'm going to lower my hemoglobin A1C. Now that's the test that we get that measures how your diabetes is doing. Normally it should be below. A normal person would be below 6.5. And our goal is for most diabetics to be at least below 8, but below 7 if you can. So I said, I'm going to be by 3 months when we check this thing again, I want to be below 6.5. And so what I made up in mind, I cut out snacks. I cut out sweets. I cut out, I used to love potatoes. I cut out, potatoes, potato chips,
bread.
I limit the bread. So I didn't go on this really strict, people on ketogenic diets and low carb diets, they can go really extreme. So I didn't go on that extreme, but I did say, okay, I'm not going to have rice, beans, potatoes, and I was not going to have any sweets. And pasta, right? There's the other one, right? So, but there's substitutes you can get for that. So if you like pasta, you can, the spaghetti squash is pretty good, so you find other things. And I looked at my A1C. Now, my A1C was 11, which to me, 11.6, which was crazy. I thought maybe I got cancer or something. And so I went on metformin, and again, I cut all this stuff out. And 3 months later, when I checked it again, in February, it was down to 6.4. So now I'm out of diabetes range. I'm back in the pre-diabetes range. So, but again, that's not just a brag on myself, but the idea is that because I've been treating diabetes for years, and I always, we always were taught that you give enough insulin, you can get anybody's blood sugar down, and that's true. But I started thinking about this in terms now of not just managing diabetes, but putting diabetes into remission, meaning that you're no longer diabetic. And so you don't need this medication or these things anymore. So that's what I've been trying to get patients to look at this now. So it's got to come from him. He's got to decide he wants to make these changes. Right. But he's got to, if he can go from being just treating diabetes to getting it actually, controlling it and getting rid of it, that should be the goal.
I just have one more question to ask you. I didn't want to hold you up.
Mm-hmm.
It is about his creatinine. In 2018, his creatinine was all over the place. And when he's a VA, so he goes out to VA. when I got off work, I came home, his hands were flopping and everything else. He really wasn't diabetic.
Mm-hmm.
We rushed him out to the hospital. They said they were going to put him on dialysis. The number, I guess, the level of creatinine
Mm-hmm.
was can't go over 3 or something like
Mm-hmm.
that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what is the number that the creatinine can go over? Is it 3 or 5 or whatever?
Yeah, usually a normal creatinine will be like below 2, depending on what lab you're looking at. So,
The danger zone is
yeah. So we know that
it was 13.
13. Yeah, we know that diabetics. Well, diabetes does a lot of things, and it affects a lot of organs. And one of the things it affects is the kidney. And so the blood supply to the kidney is bad, and so the kidney basically has to filter out all the the toxins and impurities.
It was a miracle.
Yeah.
They said they could not figure out. I didn't mean to keep you. The
Mm-hmm.
doctors out there could not figure out why he didn't go on dialysis. And they cut a piece of it. They still, to this day, they talk to him about it. We still can't figure this out.
Well,
he told them, and I'm gonna let you finish this. I serve in the hospital.
I was gonna say, glory to God. Is that exactly what I was thinking?
That's it. When you,
yeah, you too, man.
Thank you for calling. Thank you for calling. We have another caller on the line this morning. Good morning, caller. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, Mr. Doodle. Good morning, all the guests in the studio, Dr. Ely and all the other doctors.
Good morning.
Good morning, Milwaukee. Yes, Tyrone W. speaking. Thank you for taking my call. Oh boy, well, best help to all, but what allows the body to neglect itself by overexerting or underexerting with the manufacturing of insulin or whatever, and then what type of foods should I know everybody talks, fruits, vegetables, grains, nuts, and things like that. But even eating those things, what quantitates the body to shut itself down and stop producing the insulin or overproducing, and what is it more than one, or is it just one? Several things. What allows the body to say, well, I'm not going to produce this force anymore, and then you're on to diabetic. And I'll just see over here.
Right.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Well, Tyrone, the problem and this is with a lot of things that affect our health, is that we're too good, meaning that our bodies are designed to eat at a certain time, and then there's certain seasons where your body stores up fat and stores up things, because they know that in the wintertime, in those lean months, you're not going to have it. So your body is designed to kind of, when you eat stuff, to turn that food stuff into energy. Well, for us, we got stuff all over the place. We're eating all day. We're eating too much. And so that's really the trigger, is that your body can't handle all that glucose it's getting, all that fat it's getting. And so it has to do something. So your body naturally is going to store it. So when it's stored up all that fat you ate and it can't put anyplace else, well, now the liver starts to get fat because now it's got too much fat. So then it starts putting fat in other places. And so those adipocytes, those cells that store fat, actually make other hormones. They're actually metabolically active, meaning that they make hormones. They make estrogen and other things. And so all those things kind of feed back on one another. So these processes, why do we become diabetic, or why do we have high cholesterol? Why these things happen? It's all the interaction between our lifestyle, what we're eating, our activity level, and our genetics. Because some people, I got patients that are 300 pounds, and you look at them, you swear they're diabetic, and you look at them, you check their blood sugar, that they're not diabetic. Other people, they're thin and they're diabetic. So genes plays a large part of this. And so your genetics. So do you have a family history? Are your parents diabetic? Do you have siblings that are diabetic? It's a very complex thing. It has to do with the food you're eating and how you eat it too. So, are you someone who, big thing now is intermittent fasting. You might have heard of that, where some people, will control their diabetes or control their weight by, they can eat whatever they want for 5 days a week and they fast for 2 days, or they might eat during a 6-hour period and fast for 8 hours. So that is helpful for a lot of people. So it varies. And again, it comes down to this whole thing about what works best for you. But yeah, I would say that the big thing is stress, because stress increases hormone levels, cortisol and other stress hormones. Not getting enough sleep also is very closely associated with weight gain. And again, and then the foods we're eating.
That's really interesting, Dr. Isard, because we're going to close out the show today talking to Dr. Zeno Franco, and some of that's going to be related to stress and some of those things of that nature as well. But we have one more caller on the line. We have two more callers on the line. We'll take the next caller. All right, this is a hot topic, and it's so involved in our community as far as the challenges that we have with diabetes. And so, next caller, you're on the line.
Good morning. I appreciate you taking my call. I just have a question. It's kind of related to the topic that you're speaking on right now. So say you're not diagnosed as having diabetes, and I know what the fasting numbers are. Like, I think it's below 100.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, say a non-fasting, using the home glucose meter.
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's a non-fasting, and you test your blood sugar in the morning. Is there a number that it should be at, or that you should be alarmed about? And after that question, in the afternoon, if your readings are a lot lower, like around 89 or whatever, 90 or something like that, but it's higher, a little bit higher in the morning, is there a reason for that?
Oh, yeah. So first of all, there are 4 different ways we use to diagnose diabetes. Any blood sugar at any time, a random blood sugar over 200 is not normal. That's diabetic. Okay, so if anyone has a blood sugar, you should be able to eat a cheesecake and entire cheesecake, and your blood sugar shouldn't be over 200.
Oh, my goodness.
If it's over 200, that's abnormal. Okay, so that's one way to diagnose diabetes. Another way would be to do a fasting blood sugar. So after an 8 to 10 hour fast, you check your blood sugar. It should be below 100. Okay, but what we call diabetic is that if it's over 126, at least 2 separate occasions fasting, that's diabetes. The third way would be to do what's called the third way would be to do what's called a glucose tolerance test. And that's what we do is we have you come in, we have you fast, drink some glucose, a measured amount of glucose, and see what it does to your blood sugar. It shouldn't get over 140. But that's glucose tolerance test is the other way that we can check for blood sugar. And the last way, and the way that's actually become more popular, which I prefer, is this test called a hemoglobin A1C. So what it does is it's looking at the effect that glucose has on your hemoglobin, which is of course on your red blood cells. And so the reason why we use that measure, not because it does anything to the hemoglobin, but it's a direct correlation between your average blood sugar. So you can eat something in the morning and check your hemoglobin A1C. It's not going to go up or down one way or the other. It's looking at your sugar average over 2 or 3 months. So, and that way it gives you a better idea, because it's not going to depend on, because when you do that fasting blood sugar, it's going to depend on what time of day it is. And I'll talk about this too. It's going to depend about what time of day it was, how active you were, what you last ate, when you ate, things like that. Now, for diabetics, there's a situation or a condition called the dawn phenomenon. Okay, where people, when you're asleep, you don't have, your body's not doing too much. It's basically on pause. And then when you wake up, now you can be more active. So your body knows that, and in anticipation of that happening, your body will start releasing hormones to raise your blood sugar, because, I'm going to be active, I need more blood sugar. So if you look at people who, you'll see it's more pronounced than people that are diabetic. They overnight, their blood sugar might be low, but at 6 a.m. or 5:30 a.m. or whatever time is, they get up. And right before they get up, their blood sugar starts to rise. And it has nothing to do with eating because they haven't had anything to eat all night. But it's a hormonal thing that as your body is anticipating that you're going to need more energy. And so, yeah, you might notice that your blood sugar, you might check it at 6 a.m. and it's one thing, and you haven't had anything to eat. And now at 8 o'clock, it's a lot higher.
Okay. So like a 120 range or something, is that a non-fasting 120 or?
Yeah, non-fasting 120 is good. Yeah, so a normal person's blood sugar will easily be in the 70s, 80s without a problem. You're not going to feel hypoglycemic. You're not going to feel like your blood sugar is too low. So yeah, that's fine. Now we get concerned if it starts getting below 60, like in the 50s and things like that. But for the most part, yeah. So your blood sugar should be ranging somewhere between well, again, depends on when you eat and things like that. But a fasting blood sugar should be around 100, or below 100. Ideally.
Okay, I'll hang up and take my call.
Well, thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. We have one more caller on the line, and I know that we're getting short with time, but we're going to take this next caller. Caller, you're on the line.
Good morning. I'll be very quick. Great show, great show, great show. Questions are: is Dr. Isard taking new patients? What do you do, or what is your opinion on Black men seeing Black doctors, or Black women doctors, or white male doctors, or white female doctors? And then where can I go in person to sign up for the research? I figure that the world already has my DNA out there. So.
That's right. That's what I tell people all the time. That's so correct.
They already know about me, so why not participate in this study for my future, my legacy or whatever? So I think I heard it earlier, but can you announce that and I'll pick up and listen? Thank you.
Okay.
Well, first of all, thank you for that because that is a point. We're trying to get, and I've said this before, and I'll say it again. If you're not at the table, you're on the menu. And so we need to be not only just being part of this study. We need to be demanding that we be part of these studies because there are people that are making medications. They're making tons of money, and we want to know. Well, did you look at us? When you did these studies, and if they don't have to, they're not going to because it's more effort to do that because we have some natural resistance to this because of things that have happened to us in the past. So yeah, I understand that people are reticent about Tuskegee and things like that, but we got to get out of that mindset because we got to start thinking about our own health. And if these studies aren't being done, these new medications are coming out, and they haven't looked at us. Well, how do we know it's going to work for us? It's not going to have problems. So that's my word on that.
And I wanted just to add that that's something that we've been really pushing along with Dr. Isard is trying to get our community more involved in research, and plus with the All of Us research program. So you're going to be seeing in the next couple of months that we're going to be in our communities even more concentrated to get more of us involved. And so thank you for calling. And then I think there's one you wanted to know about where you can sign up. And so I'm going to give you the phone number. You can call 414-955-2689. That's 414-955-2689. Or you can go to joinallofus.org, and that way you can also sign up online. But if you have challenges with that, just call. Now, I think Dr. Isard, there was one more thing. Yeah, go right ahead.
So it's a problem with people that want Black doctors. That there are very few of us, unfortunately. And so I would direct you probably to one of the community health centers, Milwaukee Health Services. If you're looking for a Black doctor, but I would say in general, we got whoever you're seeing, whether they're Black, Asian, Hispanic, get somebody who you can relate to, and who's honest with you, who can communicate with you, because that your doctor, your primary doctor, get a primary doctor first of all too, because you go to specialists and they take care of that one issue. So you see the kidney doctor and they take care of your kidneys. They're not going to talk about so much about your other stuff. So find a primary doctor who you can relate to and who's going to be advocating for you, because this healthcare system is very tricky. And you want someone who's going to go to bat for you if something ever happens. Like when I've had patients in the hospital, and if they felt like they were mistreated, I personally go there and I said, look, this is my patient, and this is what happened. And invariably they'll send someone from administration to go down and talk to the patient to find out what happened. But you need someone fighting for you and advocating for you.
So I think the caller had one more question. They asked, were you taking new patients?
Oh, I am taking new patients, but I'm doing what's called direct primary care. So I'm working for this company that that contracts mostly with self-insured companies, and so you can still see me, but it's a little tricky. So, but what's the best way to do that? Best way to do that was just Google my name, and I'm at with Everside Health now. Marathon Health, but yeah, I am taking new patients, but it's a little trickier in how to do that.
Yeah, and then go right ahead. The question is from the question on right around our table is that who do you go to? Who do you trust? And it's kind of interesting because that is a question for the doctors.
Yeah.
And so Dr. Isard, you want to answer that question?
Well, doctors are the worst patients
because you know too much.
Yeah, right. And so you're prone to treat yourself. This is the person who has themselves as a doctor as a fool for a patient.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That's
right.
So it was kind of interesting because you talked about your diabetes situation and how you really analyze yourself. So you were doing research in a sense on how you could lower things naturally, and it worked. And so that just goes to show you. Sometimes I think that God gives us certain things to help us that also help others, and so that sounds like what happened there for you as well.
Yeah. But I think I want everybody to get in that mindset. So trust your doctor and confide in them when things are going on, but your body is your body, and so you have to be responsible for it beyond anybody else. And so if you have a condition, read about it. You can learn stuff about diabetes. You can read, and so sometimes what you want to do might not necessarily be what the doctor's recommending, but at least have that conversation. Why do you not recommend me taking this? Or why do you want me on this? Or why should I do this test? Or, should I go on that? Why should I go on dialysis? What are the other alternatives to that? So, get in that mindset that take control of your health.
And I just wanted to mention one more thing is that, Dr. Isard, you're going to be actually talking to the Black Men in White Coats Youth Summit, and that's going to be May 4th from 9 to 2 o'clock. Because I heard the woman that called earlier indicating the importance of getting, people of color to provide care for us. And this is a way of getting all students grades 6 through, people that are in their bachelor's degree. Parents and educators can be also involved in this. And so this is really welcoming people to learn more and to also encourage our children to be more involved in that. So Dr. Isard, I know we're getting ready to go on break, but can you just kind of talk about that for a few seconds?
Yeah. Speaking of, having a number or access to, to Black doctors or people of color, we realize that there are very, very few of us, and unless we start creating more, we're not going to fix the problem. And creating more means that we got to start back in elementary school, and to start getting kids interested in science and to start preparing, because it takes years to become a doctor. And so part of this Black Men in White Coats is that we're trying to encourage kids to get interested in science, to start thinking about what do you want to be when you grow up. And hopefully some of those kids, will go on to go to college, go to medical school, and become doctors. Because I'm getting older, and I need someone to replace me. And I remember back when I first came out of medical school and meeting Dr. Pruitt and Dr. James and Dr. Parker and Dr. Lovesey, all these people, and they were like, "So we need you to replace us. We need you to get ready because we're getting retirement age." And so now I'm there where they were.
I appreciate that. And people, if you have young people that are interested in participating in the Black Men in White Coats Youth Summit, you can call 414-955-4350. That's 414-955-4350. We had Dr. Isard here today that really educated us on diabetes. That was really a hot topic. Doctor, thank you so much for joining us. This is Karen Dotson. We're at the table this morning with Dr. Isard. We're going to come back with Deb Nevels. And this is 860 WNOV 106.5 FM. We'll see you on the other side. Thank you.
And Vice President Kamala Harris are working hard for Black America. They sent $1,400 cash relief checks when they were needed most. Our wages are up. We've got millions of new good-paying jobs, and the cost of insulin is capped at $35 for seniors. There's more to do, but it's clear that on the economy, Black America is getting ahead with President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris.
I'm Joe Biden, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Biden for president.
Prom is here, and graduation is near. Stop by Nikovani's, where they have a large variety of suits, blazers, and shoes to get you right for that special day. You already know Nikovani has the $100 hookup. You can get a suit, shirt, tie, and shoes, all for just $100. Nikovani's, open 7 days a week, with an on-site tailor. Nikovani's on the second floor of the Mayfair Mall, across from the movie theater.
Great impressions will exceed your expectations. Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Are you ready to make a lasting impression? Look no further than Great Impressions Graphics and Printing. With over 25 years of excellence in the industry, we specialize in delivering top-notch printing solutions tailored to your corporate needs. Business cards, brochures, banners, annual reports, apparel, and promotional items. Our state-of-the-art technology ensures unmatched quality and precision. Call 414-536-7646 or visit greatimpress.com today to learn more. Trust Great Impressions to exceed your expectations and elevate your brand to new heights.
Great impressions, perceptions, everything.
Are you tired of that old junker taking up space in your driveway? Well, say goodbye to the clunker and hello to Cash at Select Auto Parts, your one-stop shop for all things auto. We buy junk cars for top dollar and offer a wide selection of used auto parts, guaranteed to keep you riding smoothly without breaking the bank. Be sure to inquire about our tire deals. New or used, we've got you covered. For more information, please call 414-763-3474 and visit Select Auto Parts at 2500 West Cornell Street.
You're listening to WNOV 860 and W293CX 106.5 Milwaukee.
I just wanted to say welcome back to everybody. This is Karen Dotson from the All of Us Research Program at the Medical College of Wisconsin. You're listening to 860 WNOV on 106.5 FM. You know, we've been at the table today having some serious discussion. And I love it when you callers call in to the listeners call in to really ask questions and find out a little bit more. And we've been taking advantage of Dr. Kevin Isard, so we want to make sure we welcome him back next month. But right now, I'm going to talk to Deb Nevels. And Deb, she is the program manager for the Community Outreach and Engagement Cancer Center. Good morning, Deb.
Good morning.